Hey there, YouTubers. We're back with this week's comic book haul. I got 8 comics, I believe, this week. And we will start with 2 issues of Stray Bullets, 4 and 5. I have no idea why these 2 issues came out in the same week. It makes no sense to me. I was watching Ghost Critic's video from this week, and he didn't even get issue 5. It didn't come out in his store, I think it was, or maybe he got issue 3. His store has been having trouble getting him in, so I don't know what's been up with these issues, but it's a good series. I liked it when it originally came out. David Lapham uses a 9-panel grid, or pardon me, an 8-panel grid. I can't count, for the whole series. And it's a crime story. It's usually about everyday people getting involved with crime. And it's fun stuff. Some everyday person gets involved with some sort of criminal when he makes some bad choice and gets in over his head. And as you can see in these 2 covers, it looks like there's some people in over their heads. And here we have issue 2 of The Wicked and the Divine. Another nice cover with the logo right over someone's face. I generally like the drawings on these cover. And the insides are pretty nice too. Sort of that modern, thin-lined style by, let's see, who's the artist on this one? Gillen, McKelvey, Wilson, Cowles. I think McKelvey is the artist. I've seen him do some Marvel stuff before, but not a ton. But if you remember, my issue number 1 came damaged, but the comic shop got undamaged ones in 2 weeks later, so I have an undamaged copy of number 1 and an undamaged copy of number 2. I enjoyed number 1 a whole lot. The story is about these people who say, well, I guess they are gods who show up every 100 years and stick around for 2 years before they die. And then they're back in another 100 years. And this is the first time they've shown up in the modern world. Well, there was some grainy black and white footage of them from the 1920s, they say. Well, this is the first time they showed up in our modern world with all this modern media where they could be recorded and celebrities and stars or whatever direction this book is going to go in. But enjoyed the first issue, looking forward to the second. Here we have Manifest Destiny number 8. This book's been chugging along nicely with its story of Lewis and Clark going across America back in the early 1800s, whenever the heck that was, except it's a, America full with magic and monsters. That's a pretty gray cover right there. But I guess it's supposed to be scary with all its blood and skulls. But I'm enjoying this story. So far, it's pretty good. The artwork's nice. They're taking on monsters, and oh, it looks a little different. I wonder if they have a different. I don't remember the coloring being this illustrative. Yeah, they just definitely have a different colorist, I think, on this at least. Because there's a lot of watercolor computer techniques in there that I don't think were in the early issues, if I remember right. But anyway, good comic. Give it a read. Next we have The Last Broadcast, issue 3 of 7. I really enjoyed issue 2 of this one. It became more of a straightforward narrative than issue 1. The story of these modern-day city explorers exploring tunnels and stuff under, I think it was San Francisco. And they find this clues to this old magician who died in the 1920s. Or did he die? Another magician trying to find out his secrets. It's a mystery story with underwater cave exploring. The art's kind of dark and that sketchy messiness to it, which I generally enjoy. It's a well done story. I'm looking forward to that issue. Next we have Harbinger 25, one of the Valiant books that's has made the cut here since I dropped a couple of them, but I've been enjoying this one. I've liked Harada as a villain through the whole thing too. He's been a good villain. He's sort of not quite all evil, but sort of evil. And I think this one's being canceled soon, but we'll see. I've been enjoying. I also liked Armor Hunters #2 was really good. I don't think Harbinger's going to be part of that story. Let's take a quick look inside. Some nice artwork as the big climactic fight between Harada and, what's his name, Peter, this guy right here, continues. Like I said, it's been a solid book all along. Kids versus evil corporation sort of thing. If you're looking for a decent Valiant book, this is one of them. Here's a #1 I picked up for this week. Dark Engine #1 by Ryan Burton and John Bivens. I have no idea who those two were, but I liked this cover, which kind of reminds me of Pretty Deadly, the artwork. I don't know who did the cover on this, but I just flipped it open and liked the artwork. Kind of reminds me of that Paul Popish style that a lot of people have gotten into lately. That's sort of that rough, I don't know what to call it, punk, weird lined figure work. I'll have to figure out a name for what to call that style of artwork, since I've been seeing it a lot lately, and I generally like it, so I have no idea what this comic is about. I have not even heard of it, but I figured I'd give it a try. The last comic I picked up was something called Enormous #1. Once again, I have no idea what this comic is. I'm not particularly fond of the cover, but I opened up the insides, and though I'm not a huge fan of realism in comics, whoever did this artwork, let's see his name. Is it Mendy Chagor? Tim Daniel? I just have to say, I was just like, wow, this guy did a lot of work for this artwork. I mean, that's just, like I said, I'm not a huge realism fan. But still, I was like, wow, that's interesting. And it's extra thick. I mean, they used a heavy paper stock on it, too, for whoever this company is. I think 215 ink. So for $4, I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try, because the least I can do for somebody who spent all this time and work on a comic is give it a try. I think that's an alternate cover because the style doesn't match the inside, and it says here that there's a few alternate covers. I wonder what the actual cover looks like. No idea, but it's a pretty interesting cover. Lastly, I'll give you a quick glimpse at this giant thing. Steranko Artist Edition. I can't even fit it all on screen at once. This will get its own video as soon as I get a chance to make it this weekend. Okay then, YouTube. We'll talk to you later.